could show it, but that would be more complicated. But I took them to a television station, and they were interviewed. And that was the end of that year. I actually gave them their copy the day of the graduation, or the day after, because we were able to publish the book after they graduated from high school, the day after, 2 days before. So this was the beginning, and it's a great beginning. It's a great way. It's a great way. Now, this year, because I already knew what I was going to do, and thanks to them, and the work that we accomplished together, then we were able to do something similar but a little bit different. So the second year begins, which is this year. I have my students. So from the very first day, I tell students I have a club this year called Coming to America. How many of you would like to be on the club? So they're like, what is the club all about? I would show their pictures. And sometimes I would put clips of the television interview, and they would say, oh, that's nonsense. That's go by it. That's good. I know them. You know. So, and I would take it off. Well, that's the club. Come on, I said, what are you going to? We're going to publish. We're going to publish your stories. We're going to do other activities. But we're going to do everything through the club. So, I had 9 students. Here are the kids. This year. I have 9 students that accepted the challenge. Now, what happened this year? This year, I mean, so many things happened. I can't even remember all the things that have happened. But the difference that I had I didn't have the time with them. I was slow with them. I have to admit that I was not on my toes, because I should have started talking to them about this in August. I didn't, because sometimes there are other things. So when I got the spark to really talk about it was when one of my administrators gave me a copy. Remember that book? A big red book with stories of students. One of my administrators gave me a book with these stories, and she said, Mr. Hernandez, you probably could do better than this. And I'm like, wow. And I already had that here. So I stalled for another month, so when I started talking to them about this, it was a little late. So this year, I started with the club, and these are the 9 members of the club. So what we did differently was that we met every week after school. And this was an official club. And the club was called Coming to America. And by the way, I say this once, twice, many times. This is not a club of ESO students. It's a school-wide. But they were the ones that accepted the challenge. But the doors were open to all students from the school to come in the club and write and publish their stories. Because all seniors, all juniors, and if you, all seniors that were juniors have to study that unit. So we met week after week. Of course, now it's formal because they got workshops. I went over the writing process. I was able to give them examples, watch videos of Hispanic writers. So it was like, they had plenty of time. So this is the result this is the result. You can take a look at it. This is the result of the work. All right. Now I have to say that this is a book, just like the book last year. This is one of its kind. There's nothing like this. Nothing like this. So this book is this is the bridge to this. All right? In order to get here, students work here. That's my validated scientific strategy, right? So what happened in the book? So in the book, we have stories we have 4 students from Venezuela. We have 4 from Puerto Rico. We have 1 from Cuba. And we have 2 students. But that's a coincidence. They're over here. We have 2 students that moved here as a result of Hurricane Maria. And they talk about it in the book. All right? These 2 kids. All right? Now, of course, because of my experience, I was able to work with the structure of before, during, and after. All the stories are before, during, and after. Before, during, and after. Nasha, I'm going to change a little bit what you're going to do.
Yes,
I just want you to read on page 27. This is the first paragraph of Nasha's story. Okay.
sure. Okay. So, this is titled The Journey of Coming to America. And it says, as the doors of the plane closed, I felt my heart beating at an alarming rate. My breath got caught in the middle of my throat, just as I thought of the big turn my life would take from that moment on. I remember the tears in my grandma's eyes when she left me at the Luis Muñoz Marin International Airport. I knew that the idea of sending me with my aunt to Florida was very difficult for her. That was going to be the first time that we would be separated since my mom died. I look at my sister and my uncle and my uncles. I was going to miss them so much. Finally, I hugged them and made my way to the airplane. I didn't look back. It was time to begin a new life.
All right, so every story has a before, which is the airport, those days before, the circumstances, situations that led to America, the during, which is those first days, and the after, which is how life has turned out for them now. So every story has before, during, and after. And so that's the structure of each story. Now, like I said before, this book has its own, we have a publisher, we have, everything has been formatted into a text called Coming to America. So this year, we had a school presentation, and it went extremely well. We had more than 100 people present. The dean of the Poinciana campus, Valencia, she was there. So I had students read. We weren't able to do that the first year because we didn't have any time. We didn't structure it. This year, that same day that this picture was taken, they read, I gave them 3 minutes to read excerpts from their stories. And it was very emotional. People were crying. You remember that, right?
I was crying.
People were crying. For example, I'm just going to share very briefly, Maria Gabriela Garces, her story goes that her father was murdered in Venezuela. They were business people, very well-to-do, economically stable. I mean, everything going for them. And in the conversation that he had with a friend, in terms of business, the guy took out a gun and killed the father. So because of the violence, the mother comes here, they have to start all over again from scratch. So if we go one by one, I'm just sharing one story. So all these kids have amazing stories. So what has happened with Coming to America at this point? Well, Coming to America has turned into something more than what I ever expected. From here, we did a presentation in the library at Osco's and Hart Memorial, right here in downtown Kissimmee, Lakefront. From there, we went to Ana Jimenez, which is in Orlando. Ana Jimenez. We did a presentation there. The first day, we had 45 books. We sold out the first day. All the books were sold. The district, the multicultural director for the district, they purchased 175 books. And on July 24th, the club is, I'm going to invite you if you have the opportunity. On July 24th, the club is going to go to a hotel in Orlando. We don't know which one, and we're going to be speaking in front of 175 teachers that are there because they're taking an institute, and everybody's going to have a copy of the book. ESOL teachers. So this is going exactly where I wanted to go. This is what I call transforming curriculum. And so this is going to get, this is going to go to a different level. Because I don't want to talk about the domino effect that John F. Kennedy thought of, but I'm thinking of a positive domino effect, which is the effect of something good giving birth to something better. So it happened with them, then came these, and now something else. Now we're going to have some of these students in the club next year.
That book is going to go like that.
Now, interesting. I have 5 juniors here. I have 3 seniors. By the way, talking about transforming curriculum and how these kids have transcended academically, Alejandra, which is the president of my club, she received something like 12, 14 scholarships. She's going to study in Virginia. She's only been here 2 years. And I don't want to say that she'll give credit to the work that we've done in the club, but she'll say that. She will. Another of the students is Hyla. She's from Cuba. And she's going to study in Nebraska. A girl in Cuba, 2 years. She's so brave. I'm like, Nebraska? She's going to live her grandparents, the people that she lives with here. By the way, she came from Cuba all by herself. So she'll give a lot of credit as well. And the other one is Itali from Venezuela. She's going to study right here in Valencia. And hopefully we'll have her coming to America right here in Valencia next year. They're gonna begin a school club right here in Valencia. So, and we're looking for a sponsor, so. Okay? We'll talk about that. All right, so that's where this is headed. This is headed to develop, expand. This is headed to other ways. There are other ideas that we have about what we're going to do. There are more people that want to come on board and connect. This has been just, this is only the beginning. I always use the Martin Luther King quote that he says that 1963 is not the end, it's only the beginning. That's August 28th, I have a brief speech. He's talking about 1963. He says, once again, 1963 is not the end, but only the beginning. That's the year. Don't calculate my age, but that's the year that I was born. So this is going this is going and developing to further heights unknown to student and humankind. So I would like to complete the presentation with Nancy. I want her to come up here. And Jeannie, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask her, so I'll ask her one. And question, Naslin, this whole thing of using supplementary readings to complement the textbook, how do you think that has helped you to understand what is in the book?
I feel like when you have supplementary readings, especially ones that the student or you yourself can connect with, it helps a lot when the student is reading this type of stories because it's an English class. We have to be honest. Most of the students, they go to their English classes and they're like, this is not my mother's stuff. I don't know what you're talking about. This is like for 40 years before I was born. So the fact that we have these kind of projects, these kind of stories to just engage the student, but at the same time just matching it up with the curriculum and what the educational system is expecting us to learn, I think it's very helpful because the student actually learns. They learn it in their way and they're going to express it in different words in different ways, but it's what they're required to learn to be successful in their English classes. But you're making it just more, let's say, a little bit more fun for them.
Okay. Gina, any questions?
So I have a couple of questions. So after you did this, did you know where you were going to go after you graduated high school? I know you said there was a lot going on. You're like, I need to pass my classes, I need to pass this test. Then you start doing this writing, and you're like, all this going on. Did you know at that point, or were you still trying to figure out what your next step was going to be? And did this play any part in you kind of figuring out maybe what your next step might be?
This actually was, by that time, I was sure of what I was going to do. I did talk to Mr. Hernandez about, like, yes, I'm going to Valencia. But at that time, my mindset in what I want to study and what I want to do with my life wasn't, like, certain. It was, I was indecisive in that sense. I started at Valencia with a criminal justice degree, but then I've been involved with education. Since I met Mr. Hernandez, I value education a lot. I'm the first person in my family to go to college, actually.
So you'd be a great teacher, man.
So, and then when I transitioned from high school to Valencia, I got blessed with the opportunity to be part of the student leaders here at Australia campus. So I work a lot with students. So all I see every day is students like, I need my classes, I need this. So I can relate a lot because the same stress that they're going through, I went through it in high school, especially students coming from another countries. You don't know the language. Transitioning from high school to college, that stage that is super stressful. So just being blessed with the ability to, the same way I had him to teach me and to guide me through my way, I got the same chance, some sort of way with the job I do here. So just having like that was the start of everything for me.
So you had mentioned doing Coming to America, like as a club or something here at Valencia, do you want to be involved in that? And are you going to be, how much longer are you going to be at Valencia?
I'm gonna be probably until next fall.
Okay.
If things go good, and then I'm gonna transfer to UCF. But since we have Italy coming, she's gonna start right now in fall. So we're just gonna try to see if we can make it in fall, so that way we both can work on the project together. And then if we can just plant the seed in other students and they get engaged with our project, they just keep going with it.
I think my questions were intertwined in what we've discussed already.
Oh, yeah.
So
A lot of stuff I was thinking, you were talking through it, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
answers
yeah.
that I was going.
it's I don't know. One of the things that has really resonated with this project is the personal engagement. I say that because today in education, it's impossible. You know, it's difficult because there's so many restrictions, there's so many difficulties to really engage the kids. So I think teachers, because this is a workshop that I wanted to go out like that, right? Teachers really need to come out of the closet and just try, because there's so many ways that we can really make this transition from the traditional mentality where, okay, I'm just going to come to my classes and teach what I have to teach and go home and have a nice day. Because when I hear her and I hear my other kids that are graduating, I'm like, wow. I didn't know that this was going to, develop like this. I mean, I wanted it to, but you see the impact, the influence. So just the opportunity right now of having a club here, and because I do teach adjunct in Poinciana, I'm not selling this to anyone here, but it's interesting because I wanted to be the advisor because I'm in Poinciana. They said I couldn't be an advisor here, but I can still come here and give workshops to the kids. So that's our interest, that we can do that, because here in Valencia there are other things that can be accomplished. We want to get multimedia involved. I don't want to share all my ideas right here, but this is going to another level. We have the stories. You can see the stories. So if you can see them, there's a next step to that. You really want to see it. So that these are things that I know that here in Valencia with adults, young adults that are 18 and more, when kids are under 18, it's difficult. I mean, this book right now, you can't buy it anywhere. You can only get it through the club because I have the copyrights, but I mean is I can't go out there. I can say someone wants a book. I say, okay, it's $10 just to say something, but that money has to go right back into the club. It can't into a school account that we have. Now we have a school account. We have monies in a school account, and so next year we're gonna have a lot of money with the district purchasing of the 175 books. But there are a lot of restrictions. But student in college, the sky's the limit. So that's where we're going. And then we have student Gabriela Garces. She's in Tennessee. She moved with her mother to Tennessee, and she has 2 teachers that want to talk to us about the project. So I'm going to be talking to them via Skype in August, and we may have a Coming to America club in Tennessee. So